Yeah, what is up, everybody? Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Saul O and Lizy A. What? I have no clue how to pronounce your name, but welcome. I hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Who's ready for some Soten speedruns today? I'll be going over the Twitch stuff while I warm up, because it does impact me in my life and my career a decent amount if these changes go through, especially if these changes go through in the timeline that is being talked about, which is in the summer. Sad, lonely ass. There's no D in there, but sure. Nonetheless, welcome. Let's notify the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, I already kind of summed up a decent amount of my thoughts in the Discord. If you want like a TL, but still read. I don't know what the acronym for that is, but I summed up a decent amount of my thoughts in the Discord. If you guys haven't joined already, I implore you. It is a decent spot to hang out. We got pictures of animals. You guys have seen that one, right? The channel that's just full of cute animals. That'll. Look at this. Look at all these cute animals. It's a good time in here. You should join. Oh, look at this one. Look at this beautiful little kitty. Definitely worth joining just for that. Time to move ship to Facebook Gaming. I might. Who knows? If they drop exclusivity, I'm streaming literally everywhere. I've talked about it before, and I talked about it on Twitter, but look at this handsome little guy. Gonna have to start an OnlyFans. OnlyFans pays more than Twitch. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Those are very cute kitties. So you should join. Also, Eccentric, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you. If you're not already in the Discord, you definitely should join. I imagine most of you guys probably are. If you're already here, we've only been live for 8 minutes, so you only got the real ones in here. But I probably won't go too far into everything that's going on Twitch's end until more people get here. But let's go ahead and just get into it, you know? I'll try and find my tweets from yesterday as well to like go over what I've been thinking and how annoying it's been. But boy, oh boy, has it been frustrating. Lurking is perfectly fine. Join up and lurk away. The important part of the Discord is I will tag people for announcements. It's the best way to just know what I'm doing and what I've been planning and what I've been up to. As well as if we do any sort of like stream events, I might announce it and like talk about it in the Discord, like any upcoming like tournaments or like weekly like races or whatever. There's like a lot of ideas I want to go through. So being in the Discord will just let you know like what I'm thinking about, and also you can give feedback if there's something where you're like, oh, this is a cool idea, but you should do it this way, or oh, have you thought about maybe adding this component to whatever. That'd be like, it's just the best way for me to get feedback on stuff. That and my Twitter, I guess, are the only two places where I really get to like reach out and connect. The YouTube community page is like kind of bad for that, to be honest. Maybe I should try it out more. I don't know. Because I only ever use the community page to, like, say that I'm going live. Also, thank you guys for the primes. Brando, 915, how you doing? Big Red Rig, how are you? Love me some prime subs. How are we doing? We're on our way to that 100 item collection speedrun, by the way, at 450. It's in the title if you weren't aware. There is a speedrun that I haven't done in like 2 years. That is pretty crazy. Dark Mist, thank you so much for the 10 months. Have I seen what's in the news? It depends on what you mean by in the news. Coming around and say hi. I appreciate it, Dark Mist. How you doing? Catching the stream while at work? All right, don't get caught. You know how I be. We're 2 followers away from 7777. That's pretty cool, I guess. So if you're watching and you haven't followed the stream, and you have a chance to be follower number 7777. What's up, Deemos? Here it is. So this is the speedrun I'm referring to, by the way. So, if you're curious about what the sub goal is all about, it is for me to do another one of these. 100%, where I collect every single item in the game. It took me last time, this is my best time. This is the best time I think anybody has ever been able to get for a speedrun like this. Not even just exactly this, but 7 hours, 41 minutes, 14 seconds to collect every map tile. So the best percentage for the file select and collect every item in the game. So if you're curious what the speedrun really looks like, let's just go to somewhere like here. Oh, this is what it looks like. Me getting up and leaving because I fucking hate this game and I never want to play it again. This is what the speedrun looks like, baby. Yes. This is speed. Pure, unadulterated speed. When do I start farming items? Is it here? Yep. This is what the speedrun looks like, by the way. You just farm items over and over and over and over again. So it's very chill. It's very relaxing. I still have that hat, by the way. Must have been a pain. It's actually really nice. To be honest, because the speedrun itself is so random, like, you don't really care what your end time is. It's mostly just you're playing the game. It's honestly more of a casual playthrough than a speedrun. The idea is trying to go fast, don't get me wrong, but it's also kind of nice because I just don't have to worry about, like, forcing myself to go incredibly fast. It's so much content, too. You get to see, like, every single aspect of the game. I honestly had a lot of fun doing it. The random aspects of it make it very, like, honestly relaxing in a way. So, but it is also a very long speedrun. Like I said, 7 hours. I did this in one sitting, too. I didn't break it up into multiple sittings, so that's the plan, is to do it all in one sitting. You could see by the end of it, I'm just, like, exhausted. Like, look at me. Look at my... Oh, God, my face. Oh. Never mind. I can't show it, but you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't do it in a randomizer, no. Walk away out of anger. I wasn't angry, but... Oh, nice. Thanks for joining the Discord, C-Ben. Yeah. So, I mean, the goal of this speedrun isn't to, like, collect absolutely everything and whatever, but it's mostly just, like, you know. It's just all items, all map, and that's it. So if you guys want to see me do another one of those, that is what this is for. If you guys also haven't been following the Twitter, I've been talking about the Twitch stuff If you're here for the drama, oops. There we go. I talked a lot about it on my Twitter, and I talked about it in the Discord as well. So if you haven't seen what I've been thinking about the Twitch drama, then it's there. I'll talk about it while I'm warming up as well, which I think I'm pretty much ready to start warming up. So let's get into it. Also, if you haven't done so already, I might as well ask you guys, since we're clicking links, if you want to help me out, there's the Twitter link of me going live. A like, a retweet, anything like that does help me out a lot. Same goes for the YouTube community post. Especially considering how I might be taking a pay cut soon. Any amount of help would be greatly appreciated, please, for the love of God. For the love of Jesus. No Patreon drama? Well, I don't know what you mean by Patreon drama. I don't know what you're referring to. $16.26 is the goal for today. Thank you, Dr. Cat. Close out of that for now. Close out of that for now. Okay. Oh, you were trying to make a joke. Got it. I thought you were being serious. Hey, you never know in this world when the drama be hitting. For all I know, you could have been like, yeah, Patreon uses like child labor to verify transactions or something. I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Nothing would surprise me at this point in my life in the current year, 2022. Yeah, the drama could be hiding around it could be anywhere. It could be even inside your house. The drama is coming from inside the house, guys. How are their servers? Yeah. Let's do that. What's this? This the BRB. Yeah, it's fine. You wouldn't download a drama, would you? That's funny. All right. So, I'm just going to be warming up while we talk about it. If you guys have any questions, by the way, about like what's been going on with you may or may not know, but essentially the big headline is that like Twitch is like going to be taking away money essentially from some streamers, as well as implementing a few other changes. These are all leaks and rumors, but in all reality, it's likely that Twitch went to Bloomberg, which is the article that was posted. It was a Bloomberg article talking about Twitch has some ideas for new revenue shit for streaming. Realistically, Twitch went to Bloomberg and is like, hey, these are our ideas. Could you post about it so we don't get the backlash? Because if you guys don't remember, most of you guys might not be super plugged into the Twitch news. I obviously am because this is my job. But not that long ago, they were theorizing that they were going to add a feature for viewers to pay money, right? Kind of like how you guys can pay money for bits and then you give me like direct money. Instead of doing that, you would pay money to give streamers basically free advertisement on the website. So I don't know what the actual numbers were, but it was something like you pay $10 and then that shows my stream as like a recommended stream to like 100 people or something like that, right? It was essentially forcing like community members to like spend money to try and grow the person's stream for them on the website, when in reality Twitch should just have fucking discoverability options that aren't behind a paywall. Like, why would you make people pay for discoverability? Stuff like that. So long story short, Twitch announces this like a year ago. Unanimously, everybody on the platform says this is a fucking stupid idea. All that's going to happen is the big streamers are going to get all of the impressions. Oh my god. The big streamers are going to have their entire community spending a bunch of money to like constantly advertise their big streamer. The big streamers get bigger, which is already a problem on Twitch, right? So essentially, Twitch doesn't want more backlash like that, so they are likely sending the information directly to a third-party source through Bloomberg, so Bloomberg can respond and say, like, hey, these are Twitch's plans. And then Twitch could deny it and be like, no, we're not actually going to do that. Just 50? We're just, no message, no nothing? That's what we're doing right now, Ziggy? Really? Okay. I mean, direct donations are more helpful than Twitch subs at this point. I am not complaining. That brings me to my next point, which is, do you guys know how much Twitch takes out of a subscription? I've talked about it before on stream, but do you guys know? I couldn't think of anything to write. Hey, I appreciate you, Ziggy. You're the homie. Like half, 50-50, 350. It is a 50-50 split. Well, 350. If they took 350, that would be a 70-30 split in their favor. So, it's 50%. So, if you guys want to take this number, right, multiply it by 5, that's how much money is being spent on my channel, and then you take that and cut it in half, and that's how much money I make, before taxes, by the way. Taxes do take a decent cut from that. However, when Twitch was a newer... Oh, I'm bad. I did the good thing and then fucked up the easy part. Yeah. 50% is a huge cut, yes. Some of you guys might be realizing, wow, 50%, that seems like a bad deal, right? So, a lot of people in the earlier days of Twitch, 5 years ago even, up to like 3 years ago, I think it was, you could still try and apply for a better contract where you could get upwards of 70% of the revenue goes directly to you for subscriptions. By the way, the base rate for pretty much every other platform you can think of, Facebook, YouTube streaming, TikTok streaming, YouTube, mostly YouTube. YouTube is the biggest competitor for Twitch right now, right? Their base pay rate for any monetization options really revolving around streams is already, the starting is 70-30. Right? So this news article breaks that Twitch is going to take away the 70-30 split from other creators, right? And every creator at this point is like, well, first of all, why were those guys getting 70%? While meanwhile, everybody else on the platform is only getting 50%. And also 50%, it's like a terrible deal. Patreon, for example, you get 80%, if not more. I think it's on average 85%. When Patreon first launched, you'd get 90% of the revenue. 90%. And then they had to cut back to 85%, I think, on average. It depends on how much people are paying and what region they're paying from and stuff like that. So it will vary for something like a Patreon. But it's still close to 85% of the money that is being spent goes directly to the creator. Whereas Twitch has been doing this 50-50 shit for basically forever, outside of a handful of very lucky people that were able to get a 70-30 split. Or some sort of customized thing where they essentially made more money off of. This is just sub revenue, by the way. Sub revenue is the I would say if you are a Twitch streamer of my size, it's the majority of what I make is from sub revenue. So the biggest part of my income is already cut in half because Twitch just wants to take half, right? And they are already going to take more from that, right? Twitch wants to take more from the very, very small few lucky people that were able to negotiate a 70-30 split, in the ancient days, back when that was even possible. If Twitch cuts sub rates, the thing is they are not planning on cutting the sub rates for everybody. They're only trying to increase the sub rate or lower the sub rate for the top echelon of streamers or the lucky streamers that were able to get the 70% contracts. They haven't been filling out these contracts, by the way, in years. So if your streamer has come up in the last 2 years, 3 years, there is 0% chance they have a 70% split on their a 70% cut on their shit, on their sub revenue. So pretty much everybody has this 50-50 split. Twitch wants to normalize the 50-50 split across the board, even though Twitch makes next to nothing on sub revenue. At any given time, let's assume, right, that there are 200,000 total subscriptions on the platform. 200,000 total subscriptions is about right. You could even upgrade it to like 500,000, right? Let's assume that there are 500,000 total subscriptions across the board, and let's assume Twitch takes 50% of 500,000, right? 50% of the $5 that becomes, you know what I'm saying, right? We can do the math. So, calculator time. Any calculators in chat? Where's my calculator? Here it is. Boom. All right. 500,000 total subscriptions multiplied by 5. That's how much money. Let's say it's a $5 subscription. That is $2.5 million. Twitch takes half of this. This is total revenue on the website for subscriptions, by the way. It's only $2.5 million, which is meant to be split amongst the hundreds of thousands of streamers or whatever. Realistically, it all goes to like the top 4 to 10 streamers anyways, but let's be real. So multiply that, or sorry, divide by 2, because Twitch takes half of this. Twitch is only raking in $1.25 million a month in sub revenue. That's not even enough to pay all of their engineers their monthly salaries. Twitch is losing money on subs regardless. Twitch will not make, and a ton of them are primes, which Twitch doesn't see a single dollar of, right? So for the most part, Twitch won't start making money on subs either way. It doesn't matter. Whether or not they do the 50 split or the 70-30 split, they are not making enough money anyways. The way that Twitch is going to try to make money on their website, because I'm telling you this now, Twitch loses money hand over fist. They are hemorrhaging money as a company because they are paying millions, if not tens of millions of dollars in like just to pay their engineers that run the website, to host the servers that Twitch streams on. That's incredibly expensive. To maintain the servers, to run this platform is incredibly expensive. Plus, also you have to pay out the fucking CEOs, the bigwigs, the top people, their $20 billion fucking annual salary or whatever, because CEOs have to make $10 billion or whatever. Obviously, that number is inflated, but you know what I'm saying. Like, just to pay the revenue it takes to run Twitch is not even close to enough for the sub revenue to make a fucking difference. It doesn't matter. So why the fuck are they giving... The thing is that the difference between a 50-50 split and a 70-30 split for pretty much any creator across the board is an insane increase. For me, that it's just a pure like 40% increase to my total revenue, pretty much, because most of my revenue as a streamer comes from my sub number. Twitch has always been losing money. Twitch has always been losing money. And they are trying to find ways to become profitable, which leads me to the next point of this talk, which is the fact that Twitch wants to be profitable. So the way they're going to do that is by scaling up the number of ads you see on the platform. You've probably already noticed that the number of ads that have been shown on Twitch has increased by a lot, and they've become more annoying and more intrusive, right? Pretty much every streamer, when they sign up to stream on Twitch, right, is... if they take an affiliate contract or a partner contract, ads are forced onto your stream. I cannot control if the only thing I control is kind of when ads show blanketly across the stream, right? I can click a button that will run an ad for everybody, but I can't control pre-roll ads. Pre-roll ads will always show up on my stream no matter what. I personally would turn off ads on my stream because ads make you no money on Twitch as a streamer. The streamers make no money from ads on Twitch. But Twitch is obviously taking in a huge percentage of the ad deals themselves. And still, they're not making enough money, right? So they're going to increase the number of ads across the board. There's already been talks. If you follow the like Twitch partner, like Twitter stuff, they've talked about like, we've added a new incentive for you to run ads and make way more money as a streamer, because what it does is it force runs ads every like 30 minutes or something like that, right? It's like a timed ad program that will run ads for you automatically at given times. And it's like, most streamers don't want to do that, because what if you're in the middle of doing something? What if I'm in the middle of a hot run, I'm getting 1626 pace, world record pace, right? And you guys are watching, and then right before, like, let's say I nail Richter skip, and it's like, oh shit, he's going into the second castle, things are fucking great. Then an ad fucking plays. You can't see the stream for the next 2 minutes. You come back, and I've already gotten either the world record or not. You have no clue what the gameplay looks like at that point. It just totally blue balls the people that are watching. Trying to watch something live with ads in mind is incredibly intrusive, right? But that's what Twitch wants to inevitably start doing. That's the only way they're going to make money. And the reason why most streamers don't run ads, by the way, I'm going to be honest, it's not because most streamers are altruistic and they're like, I don't want my viewers to have to sit through ads. Ads are annoying. It's all about the content that I'm producing. No, it's because ads don't make you any fucking money on this platform. Twitch takes a Twitch only hands out a flat CPM for ads, which is incredibly low. I am not legally allowed to tell you what that number is, but for example, my month, I'm getting probably thousands of impressions per month, right? Because I stream, let's assume each stream has 100 people in it. I stream, let's say 4 days a week. Out of the month, that's 4, 4, 4, 4. That's 24. 24 times 100, that's 2,400 impressions, right? 2,400 impressions is not like a ton, but it's not like nothing. I make less than $10, realistically. Like less than $10 a month on ads. Whereas if that same number of impressions was on a YouTube video, I'd be making double, triple, 3 times as much, right? Because the number of impressions is much more powerful for YouTube because YouTube pays out a percentage instead of a flat rate. The flat rate that Twitch pays out per impression is just incredibly low. I'm getting the math wrong on some of this, but yeah. And then, like, the quality of an ad. Let's say, for example, my stream plays a fucking Mercedes ad. Mercedes ads, realistically, are expensive. Twitch probably is getting paid a lot by Mercedes to show a Mercedes ad because Mercedes is a luxury brand. But if they show a Mercedes ad on my stream, I'm not getting a percentage of that lucrative business deal. I'm getting a flat rate, which is why, at the end of the day, I end up with no fucking money for ads. So Twitch is in this weird spot where they're like, well, we need to start making money and be profitable, or else Twitch will basically get shut down. Really? Photoshop ads? That's interesting. Because Amazon doesn't want to have to hemorrhage millions, if not close to $1 billion in revenue from Twitch, because Twitch doesn't make money. Is it possible to stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time? Yes, there are programs that allow you, legally speaking. There we go. That brings us into the last part of the possible changes to the Twitch contracts. Not only are they going to change how much money the streamers make, not only are they going to increase ads overall and probably force streamers to basically just run ads against their will, right? Even with no incentive to run ads because they don't make me any money. If I was making a percentage, I'm still... It's actually insane. There's a video that goes over it in more detail about like the actual numbers behind it. If Twitch started paying a percentage of its ad revenue to its creators, for example, the amount of money I make in ads would increase by like 50 per... No, it would be like 50 times, not 50%, sorry. It'd be like 20 to 50 times more money, right? So what ends up happening is there's no incentive to run ads, but for whatever reason, in this like article, Twitch is playing with the idea of dropping exclusivity, which is terrible for Twitch, right? Everything so far seems like Twitch is trying to do whatever they can to like increase the number of like eyeballs on the platform and get as much ads on the platform. If they drop exclusivity, nobody is going to be solo streaming to Twitch anymore. There's no reason to. The only reason people solo stream on Twitch right now is because you are contractually obligated to. If you take a affiliate contract, which by the way, when you do an affiliate contract, you're not even guaranteed money. You're not even guaranteed money because you need to make at least $100 before they give you that money. So you have to earn $100 in like sub revenue or bits or something before you even get paid out. Most people get affiliate and then never reach that $100 mark and get paid out. Or maybe they only get paid out once or twice, right? So But Twitch is forcing you to only exclusively stream on Twitch. It's incredibly, not great because Twitch's discovery mechanisms are terrible. Everybody, if you want to grow as a Twitch streamer, the number one advice you hear is to don't only stream on Twitch. Streaming only on Twitch is a death sentence because no one's going to find your stream. No one's going to find your content. You have to cross-diversify. For me, I post a lot of my stuff to YouTube because YouTube has algorithms that should help people that want to find the kind of content that I do. Hopefully they find that content, they like it, they follow me, and then they eventually make it their way to Twitch. That's basically Twitch's entire marketing branch, is hoping that content creators branch out and do YouTube and shit like that, right? So that way more people go to Twitch. It's really funny. Most people who are watching now found me through YouTube. There's very few people that haven't. There's a handful of people that might have seen me from a GDQ or something like that, or maybe happened to find the Symphony of the Night world record on like speedrun.com and followed me that way. But for the most part, the people who know about me only know about me through posting to YouTube, right? So the exclusivity thing, if they drop that, Twitch is going to have like a ton of creators either just straight up leave, or they're all going to be cross-streaming to YouTube, which is going to like cannibalize the number of impressions on the website anyways. So I highly doubt they'll actually go through with it. Also, there's a decent chance that maybe somebody's challenging them legally in the California courts about the exclusivity clause because I'm not a lawyer. I don't happen to know everything about law. However, I know that the California courts, which California, by the way, is the state that Twitch is like home based in. So if they were to be taken to court, it would likely be a California court. It's not legal for them to force exclusivity on basically hired contractors because I'm not a Twitch employee. I don't get a fucking Amazon stock package. I don't get benefits. I am a contractor as far as Twitch is concerned. And forcing exclusivity onto contractors is usually considered illegal and not allowed in California courts. So if someone is pressing them on the exclusivity thing, it's likely that they will lose that court case. So maybe somebody is pressuring them and that's why they're considering like, oh, we'll drop the exclusivity thing. When in reality, it's not even legal to begin with. It's just that nobody has tried to trying to challenge it in court. So, yeah. There was a question in here. Let me go back to it. So, what is more content friendly? Twitch or YouTube? I hear streamers say shit about Twitch and YouTube and say shit about YouTube. I am confused. Depends on what you mean, Haas. This is Stickerbush Symphony from DKC YouTube. Yeah, you would need to be a big enough streamer with the resources to actually sue Twitch. But realistically, I think most lawyers would want to take on that case because exclusivity is like so hard fought in California that, and they see that, oh, Twitch is a company owned by Amazon. The lawyers know that they're probably going to get a pretty big payout. That's not even close to true, Jaded. You're just kind of like stating things that happened, but YouTube is fine. Just because one YouTuber in a completely different like side of the universe did something stupid doesn't actually affect the platform all that much. You know there's like 2 billion daily users for YouTube, right? Like 20% of the human population logs into YouTube every single day. YouTube is doing just fine. YouTube is doing just fine as a platform. It is, in my opinion, if you just care about making content, it is in your best interest to be uploading to YouTube 100%. Most people, I think, nowadays realize that TikTok is also like a really good marketing branch. You just don't make a lot of money on TikTok from like impressions and ads and stuff. TikTok has its own issue of like monetization problems. YouTube is by far the most advanced and most sophisticated as far as like content monetization goes, which is why so many people are like incredibly successful on YouTube, because YouTube has the tools to make sure that you can be successful. That's not even true. You're just like saying words, Jaded. I don't understand what you're trying to... What are you trying to say? There might be like a language barrier issue, but like... Dude definitely had more than 15 subs. I don't... Whatever, dude. I'm not trying to defend fucking any stupid YouTube content creators, but I think you're just coming at it from a weird, non-holistic perspective on the platform as a whole. Because YouTube as a platform is much more than any individual creator, right? And if you're talking about, like, what is a healthy platform to be a content creator on, YouTube is by far and away, I think, the healthiest. The subs and the watch time thing? What are you referring to what? Short-form content makes less revenue because of the systems in place by the companies that have the short-form content. They use a creator fund. So usually what ends up happening is you have like a pool of money, right? Let's say I have $1 million to give to the entirety of the TikTok universe or YouTube Shorts or whatever. Insert your favorite short-form content platform. I have $1 million to give out. So what you do is you make an algorithm for... like whoever gets the most percentage of impressions or whatever, those are the people that get this percentage of the money. What ends up happening as your content platform grows, your percentages of impressions becomes more and more diluted. Therefore, the $1 million becomes like smaller and smaller and smaller per average viewer or per average content creator, I mean. Because the number of people that are making content dilutes it. What is the drop I'm hunting for? I'm not farming for drops. I'm practicing movement. To be fair, I've been getting this somewhat consistently without even using my brain at all, which is pretty cool. I've mostly just been ranting about Twitch. Anyways, if you're hearing all of this and realizing that, wow, Twitch really does screw over their content creators, that is very true. Consider supporting me on Patreon, please. There's a reason why I've been trying to shout it out more. It's because Patreon just pays so much better. They really do. And when I'm at the point where, like, it can be difficult to make enough money to even, like, pay for the cost of living as a content creator, the percentages start to really matter. They start to genuinely, seriously matter. So if you are curious in supporting me further, that's what the Patreon is for. And the money goes a lot farther on Patreon than it does on Twitch. At least, if they changed the price of Twitch bits, that could be an issue. But at least Twitch bits are somewhat competitive. Twitch bits are close to 70% of the money goes to content creators anyways. So that's fine. It's just the sub revenue thing, which is just so incredibly greedy in my opinion. It's like they don't even make that much money off of sub revenue. Why would they? I want to support a streamer, but 50... Doomberry, it's already a 50-50 split for pretty much 99% of the creators. For example, everybody who has become partnered in the past 3 years, everybody who's become an affiliate in the past 3 years, every single one of them has a 50-50 split because Twitch does not give out the 70-30 split anymore. I talked about this earlier. I might make a YouTube video about it, but I don't think a lot of people will be necessarily super interested. But it's yeah. So everybody is using a 50-50 split right now, right? Pretty much, you can assume that every single content creator that is on the platform outside of maybe the top, like, 30 creators has a 50-50 split. And even then, some of the top, if they just recently became a top creator, they already have a 50-50 split as well. There are streamers out there that get, like, thousands of viewers per stream that still have a 50-50 split. And 50% is incredibly uncompetitive. YouTube pays out a 70-30. Facebook, I think, is 70-30. Patreon is 80%, if not more. Sometimes it's more, right? So a 50-50 split is incredibly uncompetitive. Twitch doesn't even make that much money off of subs in the first place. So if they were to lose more money on the subs, it's like, who cares, right? Especially if their plan is to just increase the number of ads being played, right? Would I prefer instead of a sub that you just use Patreon? Yes, 100%. Because I get more of the money that way. 100%. I mean, I understand why people Twitch sub, because you get the emotes and you get the badge next to your name and stuff like that. So if you want to continue supporting on Twitch specifically because you like the emotes and you like the badge and stuff like that, but if the point is specifically because you want to support the creator, the best way to do is Patreon. 100%. Because Patreon is the same exact revenue model. It's a monthly subscription, except there's more pricing options, right? So let's say, for example, you don't have $5, but you have $1. There's a $1 option. There's also a PayPal donate button, which PayPal donate, I would say don't do it unless you plan on donating more than $1, because I think the $1 cutoff for PayPal is pretty bad. I think PayPal takes like 30% of $1, so it's like 33%, so I basically get 66% or 66 cents per dollar if it's a $1 donation, but if it's anything more than $1, it becomes more fair. I think it's like $2 or more. So oh, you're saying you're saying that is what caused it to be 1,000 subs or more? Yeah, but if you're making content, realistically, you should have 1,000 subscribers, right? If that makes sense. Not to say that 1,000 subscribers isn't like hard to get. It took me over a year to do it. Like, trust me, I get it. But realistically, I understand why they did it. They needed to have some sort of protection against people making money off of essentially just like brand new accounts that could be posting like illegal things or whatever have you. So ultimately, yeah, like that needed to happen. $0.35 plus 5% per transaction. Thank you. Yeah. So the lower the transaction number it is, the more of the overall percentage PayPal takes, which ends up making Patreon more beneficial then. Because Patreon, you could still pay the $1, right? And I still get 80% of that $1. Does subbing get rid of ads on my stream? Yes. That is the other reason why subscribing could be beneficial. So for that reason, I'm not telling people, like, don't subscribe to my stream. Of course, you can subscribe to the stream because you get to watch ad-free. You get to watch ad-free. You get emotes. You get badges. I understand why you would want to subscribe to the stream. If your only goal is to basically find a way to support me monetarily and you don't really care about all that extra stuff, then Patreon is the best option for sure. If you want to continue only supporting through Twitch, that's fine. Just know that the 50% of that money does not go to me. That's okay. I'm not going to tell people otherwise. I still get 50%. I'm not going to complain. I'm sorry to hear that, Jaded. I didn't realize that that's what you were getting on, so now I understand your perspective more, and I do take back the confusion that I had earlier. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude. I guess it was just, yeah, we were. It was hard for me to understand where you were coming from, but with this context, I do understand now. I'm sorry. How do you know you've learned stuff? Wait, what? That's a good question, actually, Haas. I don't know. I think a part of it comes down to having a process of reflection anyways, so. Old ass gaming. What's up, dude? How you doing? So, for example, right, you should have, instead of thinking of it that way, the way I think about it is usually, the way I see it, if I can afford to sub and gift, sometimes I can afford to Patreon. I would say, yeah, I would prefer Patreon support before gifting out more subs. But if you want to sub for yourself, or if you want to gift a sub to somebody else, so that way they can watch the stream ad-free, that's perfectly fine. I think the most important thing about subbing is definitely the ad-free experience. I try and add emotes to make things like, you know, fun or whatever. But in all reality, I think most of that is just like extra. Realistically, the ad-free stuff I think is the most important part because I don't want people to see ads on my stream. But unfortunately, I am forced to run ads on my stream. I cannot change that. The best I can do is run ads at the start of my stream when nothing is happening. So that way people don't see ads later, if that makes sense. Because once I've exhausted the number of ads I'm allowed to play per X amount of time, it's like 30 minutes, the stream doesn't show more ads, if that makes sense. To answer your question, Deem, the idea should be that you should have a system set up where you practice for some amount of time and then you do runs for some amount of time. I would say if you're newer, it should be like 50-50-ish. Maybe even like 80% of your time should be spent practicing and then 20% of your time should be spent doing runs. But you should be doing runs because when you are doing speedruns and you are failing stuff, you should be making a note of it, whether it's like literally writing it down or thinking about it. Like, I haven't been hitting the movement in this room as much. I should go back and make sure when I'm practicing next time, I should practice that more. And then it becomes a feedback loop. So you start by practicing and then you do runs. During your runs, how did they go? Did you mess up Richter skip? Did you mess up this? Did you mess up this room? Whatever you seem to be not doing as well as you would like, you should make a note of that and be like, this is what I'm going to focus on the next time I practice, right? Otherwise, if you practice too much, you're practicing just to practice and you don't even know what's worth practicing, if that makes sense. So doing runs and realizing like failure is part of the process, you should be failing. For example, I fail this room like so often. The reason why I practice it so much when I'm on stream is because this room is fucking hard, right? If I fail it, I'm now aware I should be practicing in this more. Been good. Thank you so much for the sub. How are you doing? But yeah. Is there a way to integrate Patreon goals on screen? I can actually. Yeah, I could. There's ways for me to completely switch over to Patreon entirely and basically not show my Twitch affiliation whatsoever. You can even have alerts, like how I have alerts that show up for Twitch subbing. I could have alerts that show up for Patreon subs. There's people that do that. Everybody who's considering switching to Patreon, I appreciate it. It does just go towards helping me out more. And also, I think I said it before, the payment options on Patreon are a lot more flexible. You can pay whatever you want on Patreon, right? Whereas Twitch, it's forced into specific tiers. It's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That's it, right? But let's say in Patreon, you only have $1. You can just give $1 every month, and I still get most of that dollar because it pools all the money together, basically. And it should act essentially the same. I think I do get slightly less on just $1, but it's like barely it's like maybe a couple % difference, right? But let's say you have $50 to spend, not to say that everybody does, you know? Doing that through Patreon is it's just an option, right? Where Twitch doesn't even have the option for you to subscribe at a $50 level, right? Your only options are 5, 15, and 25, I believe. For tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Fuck. Patreon doesn't provide bandwidth and servers for streaming. That's true, yeah. But we went over the math earlier, Doomberry. Twitch does not make a significant amount of money off of Twitch subscriptions anyways. Even if you assume best case scenario, Twitch is only making about $1 million a month. Maybe a little bit over $1 million a month. Yo. C-Ben, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate it. And you can assume, like I could look it up right now. Twitch probably has a total staffing of like, yo, hey, add so much to help others. Nice. Love to see it. Yo, what's up, Eddie? Hopefully you're doing well. I would say, yeah, Twitch drama, I know. I talked about it a lot, and I'll continue to talk about it throughout the day. But this is going to be the end of my rant for the sake of if I decide to upload this to YouTube so more people could be aware of the kind of stuff that streamers have to deal with when it comes to the monetization of their job, getting paid at the end of the day. The best case scenario for streamers is if Twitch decides to pay out, because no matter what, Twitch will run more ads on the platform. I hate it too, but Twitch will likely run more ads, and that's just the fact of the matter. I pray to God that Twitch finds a way to make ads less intrusive to the live streaming experience. They could have sidebar ads, they could have banner ads, they could have ads that play, you know, that are less intrusive and more in control of what the streamer wants to do, right? They can incentivize streamers to run ads more appropriately by actually paying out a percentage of the CPMs instead of a flat rate. For those that don't know, a percentage of the CPMs, without going too much into the math, essentially means that you would get paid exponentially the more expensive the ad is versus a flat rate. So I use the example of a Mercedes ad. If a Mercedes ad plays on my stream, let's say I get $5 per ad, which is like super unrealistic, but let's say I get $5 per ad. But Twitch sold the ad for $100, right? If there was a percentage split, even if that percentage split was only 30%, let's say I only get 30% of the ad deals Twitch makes. If Twitch gets a $100 ad slot, I would be getting $30 instead of the $5, right? Stuff like that. So they're going to run more ads no matter what, but if they do, they better give creators a percentage of the CPM instead of a flat rate. And if they drop exclusivity, I hope they do, because it's one, kind of illegal that they have exclusivity when nobody is like an actual like employee for Twitch. I'm not an employee of Twitch. I am just a contractor essentially. So I'm pretty sure they're not legally allowed to be exclusive, but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But if they do drop it, I will be streaming to other platforms 100%. I will at the very least co-stream to YouTube as well. I'll look into Facebook and I'll look into TikTok as well, because I feel like I don't want to miss out on those markets. Because I know for a fact there's definitely a lot of people on Facebook that love this game, most likely. Facebook seems to be the correct demographic. It's an older generation. It's a lot of people in like South America. It's a lot of people in Brazil. It's a lot of people use Facebook that I know would align with this game in particular. So I know for a fact I definitely want to look into Facebook. TikTok, I have no fucking clue. Do Zoomers want to watch Castlevania Symphony of the Night speedruns? I don't know, but I would find out. But I'm not allowed to find out until then. It is the boomer social media, but it's also a growing social media platform for people in like Latin America, Southeast Asia. Soten is a boomer game as well. So in Latin America and Southeast Asia, they both love Soten for whatever reason. I think it's because emulation is very big in those countries, because importing is difficult. And when you emulate PlayStation games, for whatever reason, Symphony of the Night just ends up being one of the best emulated PlayStation games. So most people really do enjoy it. I think it just goes to show that the game is just that good, in my opinion. And because you don't need to read in order to play. That's also big. Wow, I never realized that, Fire. Yeah. Because JRPGs are going to be hard because you need to read in order to play. Whereas Symphony of the Night, because it's an action game, you don't really need to read. That's actually really big. I didn't realize that until now. Facebook algorithm for recommending gamer streams is kind of OP. Really? I haven't heard much about Facebook's algorithm, but I'm sure it's good, yeah. What is young people's social media? It's TikTok, unfortunately. I don't even use TikTok, and I'm still technically in the Zoomer generation. I'm still a Gen Z kid, technically speaking. And I don't even use TikTok. When you first played, you could not read English. Interesting, yeah. It also does have voice acting, too, which could help people like understand like the English language a little bit better, because they're going to be reading the words out loud. That's cool. Doesn't Facebook also inflate numbers for streams? Bro, if I'm getting ad revenue on those inflated numbers, you think I give a shit? You think I care? If Facebook's telling me I got 10 million people watching my stream and I'm getting ad revenue on that 10 million people, I don't give a shit. I'm trying to get paid, bro. I'm trying to sustain a living as a human being who wants to just play my favorite video game and entertain people for a living, you know? Yeah, there's TikTok live streaming, though. TikTok Live, when they launched it, was huge and still is huge. I know of people that, like, they just did a TikTok live stream just for fun, and out of nowhere, because the algorithm is just so potent, they had, like, fucking 2,000 viewers on their first ever stream. Because the algorithm is so fucking potent. Yeah, I'm too lazy to... I have a TikTok account. I'm too lazy to, like, run it myself. I'm not a social media manager kind of guy, realistically. I just like making the content. But actually managing the social media is kind of rough. I think I would enjoy it once I got into it and once I learned how to make TikTok work, because I do like learning and exploiting systems. I'm a fucking speedrunner at the end of the day. That's what speedrunning's all about. It's learning and exploiting mechanics and systems. But, you know. Yeah, I'll do like Fortnite dances on while in the background. This is the Castlevania Symphony of the Night speedrun world record. 1626, never thought possible by other humans. Meanwhile, I'm just orange justicing in the background, going fucking nuts. I would imagine doing an orange justice for 16 minutes and 26 seconds straight while the speedrun is just going. Oh my god. That's going to be the next sub goal. Learn to orange justice. Learn every Fortnite dance. Alucard goes to Tilted Towers and fucking dies. Chaos Clips will go crazy. I have a Clips channel too. Realistically, the issue is I don't want to edit them into the vertical aspect ratio. I also have just YouTube shorts that I could upload to TikTok, which I should. Realistically, that's another thing. But I have a second channel that's all just clips. Right? If I found a way to just find the right format to make them vertical, like if there was like, oh my god, does anybody have could you make a program that you uploaded a standard video and it automatically sensed specific aspects of the video to turn it into a vertical video, right? Like crop somebody's face so it fits the vertical screen, crop the gameplay so it fits the vertical screen, maybe add a background or something like that. Because if you could automate that system, bro, content creators would be making fucking, so much shit. If you could find a way to automate that system, that's something that I think people would pay for. Because then you don't have to pay a fucking TikTok editor. Most content creators pay an editor. YouTube Short upload on iOS kind of does that. Really? That's weird. I need to look into that. But like, for example, my stream obviously is in 16:9 aspect ratio when it needs to be 9:16. It needs to be flipped vertical. But you can't just flip the game vertical. Like, you can't do that. Right? I can't just make people like flip their screen sideways. Most people don't want to flip their screen. Most people want to just watch the video like this. That's why vertical video is so like being forced in these platforms. I don't know. Hopefully this business talk wasn't too boring for you guys and you enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, it is my livelihood, so I will talk about this kind of stuff, especially because I think most people just don't know. If Twitch follows through with some really bad decisions, in my opinion, I'm honestly considering organizing some sort of like live stream demonstration, like social media thing. You know how like, God, I don't know how to describe it other than when everybody did the really cringy black square shit. Instead of actually like helping out with the Black Lives Matter movement shit, they were just like, I'm just going to post a black square on social media. I'm doing my part. But in reality, like, do that, but with streaming. I don't think a strike is the correct word because people would still be... Your face wouldn't be in it, but it's fast. I think your face is kind of important for social media stuff. I don't know what the correct word is. I just keep calling it a demonstration, but the idea that I've had for a while... This is even before Twitch dropped this news, by the way, because I knew the 70-30 split is like... should be standardized, I think, amongst everybody. So the idea is if you get enough people to do it, people will take notice because Twitch is a very like small platform. So if you have enough outreach to enough partners in enough areas and you get them to, in my opinion, what you would do is you would just go live, and you can get so many people to do this because I think almost anybody would agree, right? You tell them to go live, even if they didn't plan on going live at that time, like it's not in their schedule or whatever. It takes no time, no effort from every streamer that would be involved. All you do is you send them a PNG, a picture of what they need to stream, and it's just a list of demands, right? let's just some background info, right? If they, we talked about it earlier, Ken. If they drop the exclusivity part, like, it's going to be so much better for content creators as a whole, but it's going to hurt Twitch. So, what's up, Ultra Spec? So, here's the idea. Let's say you want to plan a strike, but I don't want to call it a strike because Jeff Bezos will show up at my door and shoot me point blank in the head while I'm live. So the idea is, if you can get enough streamers to do this, it'll make enough social media buzz, because already the social media buzz is there because of this article that got posted, right? So you could just forward momentum through that. 2, you just have a list of information and then a list of demands as a PNG. The streamers, they don't have to, all they have to do is go live with the picture, and that's it, right? People are going to click on it and be like, what's this all about? They're going to read the information, and they're going to be like, my streamer isn't streaming because of Twitch isn't paying them? What the fuck? Twitch, what is your deal? I want XQC to... I want Juicer... Me love XQC. Me love Mizkif. Why my Mizkif no stream? Pay them. Right? I feel like it's an easy enough thing. But the issue is you would need big streamers to get in on it. Otherwise, it would just be like... It wouldn't get enough buzz, if that makes sense. Because if they're going to force ads anyways, like, then if Twitch is going to force more ads, they should increase the sub split. It's that easy, right? Because ads are going to hurt a lot of smaller streamers, more so than bigger streamers. Bigger streamers will be fine if more ads are played. In fact, bigger streamers will get, like, proportionally more money because they have a large audience. But ads really do hurt smaller streamers, right? I think there's like some statistics out there where if you show an ad before content on Twitch, there's like a 20% chance that the viewer just clicks off as soon as they see the ad. They're like, never mind, I'll go find something else to do. Because the attention span just isn't there. Or they just weren't invested enough in the first place. I'm kind of killing with this Richter skip right now. That was like 4 in a row. Bam. So yes, I can't say the word union on Twitch or else Jeff Bezos will show up at my door and kill me, but I think a bit of a... I just got it like 100 times in a row. Are you guys seeing this? Never mind, there we go. I messed it up. Messed it up again. But some sort of like coalition of individuals that could fight for or advocate for better conditions while streaming, I think is perfectly reasonable. Is it possible to local record a different stream layout on one monitor than the main one you're using for Twitch? Probably, actually. That's probably very possible, Cold Mage. I think I see where you're getting at, where you local record in the vertical aspect ratio and post that instead of... That's possible. The issue is that you would need to... No, don't open up OBS twice. The issue I foresee is I local record all of my like content stuff because I want it to not have to worry about dropping frames. Like, for example, I dropped 400 frames so far during this stream. So dropping frames means if you try and upload it specifically from Twitch, it's like it's just gone, right? But that's what a lot of content creators actually do, is they just have their editors download the actual Twitch VOD instead of uploading a local recorded higher quality. Because I also local record at a higher bit rate, so that way the stream looks better on YouTube as much as possible, because YouTube compression can be kind of bad, so you just need a higher bit rate in general when uploading stuff to YouTube. RTMP servers could do it. Yeah, you could actually, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure someone who's more technically savvy could figure it out for sure, but I'm also kind of stupid. So. Alrighty. I think we're ready to get started, guys. But yeah, if you have any more questions or want to talk about it more, I don't mind. But I just wanted to get all my thoughts out as clear as I possibly could on this whole Twitch situation. And if you heard all this and you're like, how do I support my streamer, my favorite streamer? Definitely Patreon is the best play right now. Patreon is just overpowered. It's so crazy. you just get so much more value out of Patreon members than you do Twitch subs. So I am playing on Xbox. Yes, it is the fastest version of the game. Is the Xbox version. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make it more well-known, because at this point, I don't think Twitch is going to increase the sub split. I would like to try and organize something to maybe possibly get a better sub split, because if Twitch's sub split was 70-30, then it would just be competitive with pretty much everything else. And then I wouldn't complain, realistically, right? If YouTube's revenue split is 70-30, then, like, you know, why Steam don't come out for this game? Oh, you mean Konami doesn't upload this or remake this or port this, sorry, to computers into Steam? I have no clue, dude. I think it would do great on Steam. This is a classic. What happened? Is Twitch getting greedy? Yes. Twitch is getting greedy. I'm going to probably upload a YouTube video about it, because I think I posted enough interesting points during the stream if I could edit it all together if I'm not lazy. But we'll see. Yes, Rainbow Pagan. I would prefer Patreon over Twitch. However, Twitch does have extra benefits, so I'm not telling people not to subscribe to Twitch. I also spilled coffee all over myself, sorry. Twitch is perfectly fine because you don't get ads on my stream, you get the badge, you get the emotes. And if that stuff matters to you, then keep subscribing on Twitch. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to stop you. However, more money goes to me directly if you care about directly supporting me and making sure that I can pay rent, pay the electricity bill, pay the internet bill, be able to focus more time on streaming, maybe eventually be able to afford an editor so I can start editing my videos more frequently, stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but we'll see. Good luck on the runs, no worries. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, Patreon just ends up being more percentage of the money you spend goes to me, and Patreon is more does subbing for multiple months at once change your intake at all? No. The only thing that I believe changes it is if you sub at tier 2 or tier 3, Twitch only takes away $250 from those, but I think I keep the rest of it, but that might not be true. I think that's like a partner only thing and not an affiliate thing, and I have to double check. Do you get a reasonable amount of money from YouTube? YouTube makes me... It depends on the month. If I have something circulating in the algorithm, it's insane. YouTube makes most people a lot more money because you get a percentage of the CPMs, which I talked about earlier, where you get a percentage of the amount of money you make, basically, where Twitch only gives you a flat rate. I would say, depending on the month, it's close to 50-50. I make about half of my actual income as a human being, like total, if I were to be collecting or claiming whatever on my taxes. Half of my gross income before taxes it's probably actually closer to only like 40 to 35% is YouTube. And then the rest of it is basically Twitch. My Patreon hasn't really been big ever. I think the most I've ever made from Patreon was like close to $100 a month, which is not bad. I'm not complaining about an extra $100 a month, but realistically, if you look at average rents in the United States, $100 a month isn't going to be paying my rent anytime soon. You know what I mean? So I hope it's been helpful. Hey, I'll take it. If you're falling asleep to my vids, that's awesome. You know, morning in the Philippines, nice. Thank you, Levan. I'm going to finally clean up that coffee I spilled all over myself, and then we're going to get started doing runs. All right, guys? I will be right back. And I don't mind continuing to answer questions about this stuff. BRB.